8 years since the death of star goalkeeper Senzo Meyiwa, the first state witness, police forensic crime scene investigator Thabo Mosia took the stand. The official presented a sketch plan and photo album of the Vosloorus house and scene where Meyiwa was murdered in cold blood on the 26th of October 2014. Well, for more on this, let's cross now to my colleague Hasina Gori, who's been following proceedings. Hasina, thank you very much for joining us. Just outline to us what has taken place thus far.
Good afternoon, Nombu. As you mentioned, the state has called a first witness in the matter 8 years after the incident happened. It long awaited, for this trial to begin, and the first witness called the police officer, giving details on what he saw when he arrived at the scene. As you mentioned, it happened on the 26th of October 2014. He arrived just past midnight on the 27th. He's one of the officers that drew the sketch of the crime scene. He's been detailing what they found at the scene, specifically in the kitchen area, which is where it's alleged the incident took place. We were told that two intruders gained access to the property that is Kelly Khumalo's mother's home in Vosloorus from that back door in the kitchen. There was a bullet hole that was also seen where one of the bullets is alleged to have changed directions and went into. He also said he followed the direction of one of the projectiles which was found behind a glass jar on the kitchen cabinet. So detailing just some of the information and evidence that he saw when he arrived on the scene and collected. He was there both at the evening of the incident as well as the next day, saying he walked through other police officers. He also spoke with regards to some of the exhibits that he collected, which was a hat as well as the projectile. There was also a walking stick that he had seen at the scene, and detailed that as well. He also spoke about the swabbing that was done on certain areas to collect DNA as well as evidence from certain areas in the home as well. So he's just been giving evidence with regards to his part and what was seen and collected at the scene on that evening, trying to piece together what took place and what exactly was the situation on that evening there. So we've been hearing around various different evidence that has been collected. He's been going in through details with regards to also, one of the big questions that has been brought up was whether or not there was any tampering to the scene, at the crime scene. And when he was asked by the judge, both the state prosecutor as well as the witness said they will come to this at a later stage. So hopefully once the lunch break is over, we'll hear more details with regards to whether or not that crime scene was pure and intact. We know it was an issue that the judge even asked when the state opened their matter, whether or not that the crime scene was, the purity of it was preserved, and that was come under question. So we'd find out from the forensic police officer, one of the first on that crime scene, finding out what exactly happened and whether or not, it was tampered or any of that evidence was cleaned out at that stage.
Yeah. Hasina, before I let you go, just clarify for us, why did the judge feel strongly that Kelly Khumalo's lawyer, who was there, leave the courtroom? Why did she have to leave the courtroom?
So if you remember correctly, on a Friday, the defense advocate Tefo had brought about a concern that having Kelly Khumalo's lawyer Magdalene Monsami here as a watching brief may be jeopardizing other witnesses, especially if Kelly Khumalo may be called as a state witness. It was not entertained on a Friday, but this morning when proceedings began, State Prosecutor George Boloy did bring it to the attention of the court that as Kelly Khumalo is a state witness, that Magdalene Monsami should excuse herself from the proceedings, and the judge did agree on that, despite Magdalene Monsami arguing that the proceedings are being broadcasted live and that they would still have access should they want to watch the interviews. However, the judge said that until Kelly Khumalo does come and take the stand and testify, they will revisit the issue, but for now she should excuse herself from the court proceedings, saying that this is to preserve the purity of the case and the process, but also to ensure that any classified information or any information that will be handed out in court, she's not privy to that information, and that is the reason why we saw her being excused before the first state witness was called.
Okay, super. Thank you very much, Hasina, for that report there, my colleague Hasina Gori.